Good morning. Go ahead and stop whatever you're doing and tell everybody that they need to tune in to Mimi the Motivator because we are about to have a great show. So let's get started.
The enigmatic entrepreneur whose words will make you sure. Know, trust, and believe. The master teacher has come to help you succeed. The gem dropper, the truth speaker, the voice in the universe that will bring you to your highest peak. Welcome to the Get High on Motivation show with Mimi the Motivator, your favorite motivator's favorite motivator.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, love bugs. It is your favorite motivator's favorite motivator, Mimi the Motivator, and this is the Get High on Motivation show. I'm excited to be back as always. No matter what's going on in the world, guess what? We get to choose to be happy. Know that you can get a phone call that is devastating, but you still have the opportunity to choose happiness because it is not a response. Happiness is not a response, it is a starting point, is what I would like to say. So that is not today's food for thought, but I just wanted to throw that out there. I do have a quote for today from Amelia E. Barr. And Amelia says that forethought spares afterthought. Forethought spares afterthought. The first thing that immediately came to mind was how hindsight is 2020. But what this is almost like a anecdote for hindsight being 2020, because forethought spares afterthought. Hindsight is the afterthought. It's the looking back. It's the reflection piece. But what happens if we took the time to invest some time and energy in forethought and thinking things through, thinking of how they may come out, thinking of the consequences and the repercussions, as well as the rewards? But how many of us really use forethought? Do we think about what might be the response to what we're going to say before we say it, or do we just say it and blurt it out our mouths? I know it happens to me. I don't know about y'all. Y'all might be all good and hunky dory over there, but me personally, I blurt stuff out my mouth on a regular basis, and it is what it is. So I want to really think about this more myself going forward. I'm loving that I found this passage this morning. Forethought spares afterthought. We probably won't have to apologize so much if we invested more time in forethought. We probably wouldn't have to ask for forgiveness. We wouldn't have to make excuses. We probably wouldn't even have to lie. We wouldn't have to justify what we're doing if we invest more time into forethought. I believe this is so imperative even in the business world. So many business owners that I meet with have not invested almost any energy, it seems like, in the forethought. They just got an idea and they're ready to run with it. But if you're going to go into business, there is some forethought that is required. There's some homework that is required. You need to be sure this is even the right business for you. Is it fitting for you? And not just a great idea that maybe somebody else should be implementing. That forethought is really investing time. And this is not just thinking. No, this is investigating. Investigating even your own thoughts and emotions is forethought. It's really peeling back the layers, is what I feel like. And not just going on those surface level thoughts, going and digging a little deeper. Forethought spares afterthought. So I want to encourage us all, since all of us come together to become 1% better in one area of our life, the area we're going to consider today, at least right now, is investing more time and energy into forethought. So that way we don't have to worry about investing so much time and energy in the afterthought, in the reflection piece. We don't have to worry about saying I'm sorry and apologizing so very much. So let's get this party started, this conversation today. I need some water. I noticed I've been hoarse for quite a while. And if you know anything about that, that means that I have been resisting change. Change is getting stuck in my throat chakra. But we're not going there today. I'm not going to pick on myself today. I'm going to pick on you instead. Actually, I'm going to pick on a friend of mine. So one day, I was at a friend of mine's house and I was like, ooh, the energy in here. Like, ooh, I wish I had some sage. The look on my friend's face was like, screw, if there was a sound effect to go with it. And I immediately saw this, I want to say, for lack of a better term, strike of fear come across her whole demeanor. And she was like, oh no, like you can't basically telling me, no, you can't burn sage in my house. Like, no, I don't do that over here. I don't practice that. I don't believe in that. And I was like, believe in what? What is there to believe in? I didn't know that there was a belief system tied to burning sage. So I was, my brain went all kind of different ways. I almost found myself in defense mode, and maybe even I was trying to defend the sage, trying to defend Mother Earth. But what I identified in this conversation was there is a need for us to have an understanding of what is the difference between instinct and what is the difference between intuition. Because what my friend said is that her intuition told her that sage was bad. Was it her intuition or was it her instinct? Is it our intuition or is it our instinct that tells us something is about to happen or something is not about to happen? For example, I was supposed to have a guest today, and something told me that this guest was not going to be showing up today. So I reached out yesterday just to confirm, which I hardly ever do. I do not do any confirming. I am not that kind of admin girl. I am not a secretary. I need an assistant. And so I sent this text message to confirm, hey, I want to confirm that you're still going to be on for tomorrow. And if so, send me this information. Information sent. So those of you who are following me on Facebook or even subscribe to my YouTube channel, you get a notification that says, hey, she's going live at this time, right? So everybody got this notification that I was going live at this time. I have totally derailed, haven't I? That's okay. We're going to get back. We're going to circle back. And after I had published everything, I got a message saying, I'm actually going to be on the plane in the morning. I sent the face. I didn't even know what else to say. The smack in the face was not because of my guest. The smack in the face was because I knew better. I knew, my intuition told me, not my instincts. So I'm telling you these two stories because I want to compare the difference, or I want to compare and contrast actually instinct and intuition, because they do have some things in common, but then there's some things that are quite different between the two. So I think I'm going to start with what they have in common. Instinct and intuition is a foreknowing. You know how we just talked about the forethought? It's almost like a foreknowing sometimes that comes to us based upon something. But the thing is that makes these two things so different, and I have to immediately contrast right here, is that one comes from our lower chakras, where the other comes from our upper chakras. But basically what that means in ordinary terms is that one is more of our animalistic side of us, or half of us, where the other one is that more internal, spiritual, energetic knowing that's coming from a higher space, if you will, or coming from the inside. The biggest thing for me when I think about the difference between instinct and intuition is that one is internal and one is external. Instinct is based upon external stimuli. For example, instinct, two things, excuse me. It's based upon external stimuli, but it also can be based upon past experiences. So, for example, you meet someone, and I'm one of those people. As soon as I meet somebody, I read their energy. I can't help it. It's what I've been doing since I was a kid. And my intuition is what tells me whether or not I should be in dealings with this person, or whether or not this person is a quote unquote good or bad person, a scary or safe person. Now, instinct is something different. Instinct is when you see somebody who looks a certain way, and because of past experiences of people who look this way, you respond a certain way. You feel either scared or safe just because of what we see. Our instincts are based upon our five senses. It's based upon what we see, what we hear. If I heard something right now in the background, I'm not going to be afraid because my roommate is here. But if my roommate was gone and off on the road and I heard this noise, I would be freaking out. I would be putting y'all on pause and on hold to go see what's going on. I'm going to be like Karen around here. I'm checking things out because I know something is not right. Intuition would feel more like a sensing or knowing, like, I need to go check and see if my door is locked. And then I go and the door is unlocked. See the difference? It's more of an internal something. I got an internal sensing versus an external stimuli that started this thing. Intuition is based upon that sixth sense. So it's not based upon something you see or something you hear. It's based upon something that has no scientific evidence. Like I said, it's more of a spiritual knowing, but if you're not a spiritual person, we don't have to use that. It can be energy. You don't have to be spiritual to believe in energy, because energy is everything. Energy is not created or destroyed. It's only transferred. That's science. Okay. We all are just energy. We all are energetic beings, just a whole bunch of cells and stuffs moving really, really fast. And we're moving so fast that we look like a solid person. But at the end of the day, we're just all energy. So I got my dictionary out and I'm holding it in my hand because I want to go on and go to the dictionary to compare these two words to see if we can gain even more insight on what is really the difference between instinct and intuition, so we can be sure that we're operating from the right space. So instinct is a natural talent, natural, inherited, or subconsciously motivated behavior. The word that stands out for me is motivated behavior. Intuition is not motivated by anything. First and foremost, I'm just gonna say that we comparing definitions. So let me stick to the plan. So our other word is intuition. It says quick and ready insight. Insight, not outside. Insight. Insight is an internal knowing. In. Anytime we say the word in, it's inside. It's not external. So it's not based upon any kind of external stimuli. It's not based upon our past experiences, past thoughts, past conversations, past visual cues. Because sometimes people think intuition is like, you're talking to somebody, but you notice that they look down every time they do something or they're looking away. That is not intuition that's telling you that they are lying. That is instinct, because you are watching their body language. You're watching the shift in them. You're watching their skin color change. You're watching their eyes blink a little more. Or you're watching now all of a sudden their chest is moving when they're breathing. That is not intuition. That is instinct. Intuition is knowing that somebody has done something and you have no reason as to why you know what you know. You just know. The other thing, the difference between intuition and instinct is intuition is unwavering. It is a solid feeling. It doesn't go away. It's not up and down. It doesn't come and go. Intuition sticks and stays. Intuition is moderating more so, if any type of fears and whatnot that we might be having. Where instinct is trying to protect us from those fears. And instinct comes and goes, is high and low. So if you are thinking about something and that's how you're feeling. You're feeling a feeling of either expansion or contraction. That is instinct. Intuition, if you feel like an even keel of a thought, of a vibration that is seemingly not going anywhere. It's almost like it's pressing on you, but not too hard. It's just like there. It's almost like the elephant in the room, but it's the elephant inside your internal room. That is intuition. So, was I responding to intuition or instinct this morning, thinking that my guest might not show up? Now, having this conversation with you, I thought it was intuition. Maybe it was intuition that told me to reach out, but I believe it was instinct that gave me the idea that he may not show up because of past experiences. Maybe with this guest, maybe with other guests. But I have to be honest with myself. Now that we have broken these two terms down, was I operating from intuition or was I operating from instinct? What do you believe? Think about some current experiences that you are going through. Are you operating from intuition? Are you operating from instinct? Basically, what I'm asking you, are you operating from fear? Are you operating from a faith that you may or may not understand? When we are in our personal and our professional world, both instinct and intuition are just as important. It is important to trust your intuition when meeting with clients, or even if you are looking for a job and you're going out there and interviewing people, trust your intuition, but also trust your instincts. But be able to identify when they are instincts because they are fear based. And instincts can make you jump when there's nothing to jump for. Instincts can make you run. Instincts can put you in that position of fear or flight, fight or flight, excuse me. That's when we know it's definitely instinct. When you are trying to decide, should I go or should I come? Because I'm nervous or because I'm scared, we are definitely operating from our lower self, from the lower parts of our brain, from the lower parts of our chakras. We have to start moving upward or find some type of balance of operating maybe in between instinct and intuition. Because like I said, they are very both important. Use your intuition to guide you. Use your instincts to keep you on track. Intuition guide. I feel something. I feel like we on to something. What do you think? I really am curious of what you think of what is this difference between instinct and intuition. Had we not had this conversation, what did you think prior? How have you been responding to intuition versus instinct? Have you been mislabeling some of your responses as instinct when it was really intuition or vice versa? Have you ever even considered that you can strengthen your intuition? You know how we think that some people are more intuitive? Maybe some people are just more in tune with themselves, which means you can do the same. You're not exempt from being intuitive. You're not exempt from going within yourself and connecting with your inner self. One thing I know is that intuition comes more so when the mind is calm and at ease. So that means, of course, you know what I'm about to say. Meditation, meditation, meditation. We're going to have to use some meditation and to tap into ourself, tap into our inner knowing. When we quiet the mind, we get to hear the spirit more. When we quiet the mind, we can hear our intuition more. Because there's a lot of chatter going on. It's like walking inside of the restaurant. I went into a restaurant the other day. I'm going to leave them off the table as far as what their name is. But it was so loud. It was like a big cafeteria. I felt like I was in school. I imagine that this is how many of us, this is how our minds are. There's a multitude of conversations going on, and sometimes it's so loud you can't even think straight. I wasn't even willing to dine in the place. I said, no, I can't eat here. It was too much external stimuli going on for me. It had my instincts going off, not my intuition. It wasn't my intuition that said this is not the place for me to eat. It was my instincts responding to all the noise, responding to all the energy in the room. My intuition did tell me that we probably should go to like a gastropub or something like that because I know it's going to be less populated. Or is that intuition or is that still instinct? I feel like there's such a blurred line between intuition and instinct, and that's because they have so much in common. And that's okay. We just have to decide, or not decide, we have to have an understanding of what is the difference so that way we are not operating from fear. Because if we're operating from fear, we're not going to get what's really out here for us. We have to operate in faith, knowing that everything is always going to work out for us. We have to operate in faith, knowing that whatever we desire is on its way. We have to operate in faith, knowing that if we are working towards what we really desire, what we believe we deserve, that everything is going to show up that we need, that people will instinctually show up to assist. People will instinctually want to buy from you because you are putting off a certain type of vibration. What is it that we are doing to maybe even control the instincts of the people around us? What are we doing to trigger their instincts? You can always tell when you've triggered some fear in someone. Like I said earlier, when I had the conversation about the sage with my friend, I triggered fear in her. At that point, I probably should have ended the conversation because once somebody is in a fear based space, they can't even have a good conversation because they are in fear mode. They're in instinct mode and they're trying to figure out, what do I need to do? How do I protect myself? Again, instinct and intuition. Instinct is trying to protect you from what is scary. Intuition is just going to moderate it because things are going to be scary. Life is going to be scary. Business is going to be scary. Relationships are going to be scary. Change and evolution is going to be scary, but we can't avoid it because life is always going to be happening, whether we like it or not, whether we're ready or not. Life is like, here I am, here I come. And we got to be ready. We have to have our inner knowing. We have to tap into our inner knowing so we can be ready for what's coming. Ooh, I like that. Tap into your inner knowing so you can be ready for what's coming. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm talking about your manifestations. I have a feeling, my intuition tells me that something is about to change in your world, whether it's in your personal or your professional world, whether it's in your career, in your finances, in your relationships, in your family. There's about to be some changes. And you might want to do your due diligence of not saying that these changes are good or bad, because it is what it is. I want to challenge us to accept the changes that are coming into our life and to continue to follow our intuition on what's next to do and not allow our instincts to dictate what not to do just because it's scary. I want to encourage you to walk into the unknown. I want to encourage you to face what's scary head on. Make the scary phone call. Have the scary conversation. And don't let your instincts talk you out of it because it's trying to protect you. Your mind is programmed, it's set up, it's wired to protect you from what's scary. It's wired to protect you from change because change is scary. But you have to override that system. You have to override your paradigm, override your thought patterns, and start putting in some new groundwork. Start building a new foundation that you can operate from. And now I want to circle back to the words at the beginning of today's show, that happiness is our starting place. It's not anybody's responsibility. The same way our success is not anybody's responsibility. Our rewards in life are not anybody's responsibility but our own. Trust your intuition to guide you into the unknown. Trust your intuition to guide you into paths that you've never seen and that may be a little scary. But know that your intuition will keep you safe. It will moderate the pain. It will moderate the fear. Allow it to do that. Follow your inner GPS system, your inner Siri. because your inner Siri knows exactly which way to go. Your inner Siri knows exactly where it is that you desire to be. And it is going to get you there only if you are willing to trust that. Because if you're operating from fear and only from your instincts, you'll never get there, or it'll take you a very long time, or the struggle will be not worth it. We don't have to struggle to get to our end game. It can go a lot easier than you believe. Life is easy. It's us humans who make it difficult. So allow yourself to have an easy life today. Today, trust your intuition. Identify what is intuition and what is instinct. Identify, are you operating from intuition or are you operating from fear? Maybe even reflect on some past experiences and see, were you operating from instinct or were you operating from fear? Because those are the same thing. Or were you operating from over this side in the world of intuition and inspiration? That's something that comes from the inside and not from the outside. Make it your business to quiet your mind and to turn up the volume on your intuition. I am Mimi the Motivator, your favorite motivator's favorite motivator, and I love being here with you. If there's something that you would like for me to talk about, let me know. I'm here for you. I'm here to support you. And I will see you next week, same time, same place. Yes. If you enjoyed today's show, please share this with a friend. Share this with a loved one. Share it on your social media. Share it everywhere. Share, share, share. Sharing is caring. And I'll see you next week. Be happy, be healthy, be you. I am Mimi the Motivator, your favorite motivator's favorite motivator. And this is the